Let's get right into it. Number 7, the tiny therapist kid. Real talk, what if you being the mature one kid, breaking up fights, checking if mom was okay, and keeping everyone calm was never cute at all, but low-key your very first mental health red flag? In a lot of American families, this gets praised as being such a good kid, so responsible, and wise beyond your years. But low-key, that's not a personality trait. That's a survival mode. When home feels unstable, a kid's brain runs a brutal calculation. If I keep everybody calm, maybe they won't blow up. Maybe they won't leave. Maybe I'll finally feel safe. So you become the peacekeeper, the listener, the little problem solver. On the outside, it looks like a phase of being extra helpful. Inside, it can be anxiety, hypervigilance, and emotional parentification. Your needs getting shoved so far down, you stop noticing them. Fast forward and that phase turns into adult patterns. Picking broken people to fix, working yourself into burnout, and feeling guilty anytime you put yourself first. Here's the scary part. You weren't too grown. You were a kid in crisis, hiding in plain sight for years. Number 6, the walking mood swing kid. Ever look back and low-key freak out wondering if you losing it over the tiniest stuff while everyone called you dramatic wasn't a phase at all, but your first sign your brain was struggling to regulate emotions? One minute you're fine, the next you're snapping, crying, or shutting down, and adults hit you with, "Relax, you're so sensitive." Like that's helpful. In a lot of American homes, that gets brushed off as hormones, attitude, or you're in a phase. But for real, chronic emotional whiplash in kids can point to anxiety, depression, or other mood disorders starting way earlier than anyone wants to admit. Here's the sneaky part. When nobody takes your feelings seriously, you start to gaslight yourself. You think, maybe I am overreacting, maybe I'm just crazy. So you either explode bigger or go numb. Fast forward, and that moody kid grows into an adult who swings between burnout and breakdown, overthinks every reaction, and low-key fears they're too much for everyone. That wasn't just you being extra. That was your nervous system screaming for help while everyone laughed it off. Nobody told you that might be a real mental disorder. Number 5, the zoned out escape artist kid. Ever get the whole "hello, earth to you" treatment while you were zoned out and now wonder if that daydreaming phase wasn't you being lazy but low-key, your brain's first escape route from stress you couldn't handle? In a lot of American classrooms, that kid staring out the window gets labeled as unmotivated or low-key dumb. But zoning out can be a huge red flag. Sometimes it's inattentive ADHD. Other times, they're mini escape hatches your mind builds when real life feels way too loud, tense, or straight up unsafe. Your body stays in the room, but your brain dips into a fantasy world where nobody's yelling, nobody's judging your every move, and you actually feel in control. Teachers say, focus. Parents say, quit being spacey. Nobody asks, what are you trying so hard to get away from? Fast forward, and that head in the clouds kid becomes an adult who loses hours doom scrolling, forgets whole drives home, or blanks out in arguments. That wasn't just some quirky imagination. It might have been early dissociation or ADHD your family missed while they joked about you living on another planet. Kind of scary, right? Number 4, the Human Doormat Kid. Be real. What if you being that kid who always said it's fine and let everyone walk all over you wasn't a super nice phase at all, but low-key your nervous system fawning in fear that people would bail if you ever push back? In a lot of American families, being quiet, helpful, and low maintenance gets treated like gold. Teachers say you're a dream student. Parents brag. They never complain. But low-key, inside, you're running a constant calculation. If I keep everybody happy, maybe they won't yell, leave, or turn on me. So you let friends copy your homework, gave up your turn, and laughed at jokes that actually hurt. Saying no felt dangerous, like you'd instantly be labeled rude, selfish, or ungrateful. That's not a cute personality quirk. That's the fawn response. Your nervous system choosing people-pleasing over fight or flight. Fast forward, and that good kid grows into an adult who can't set boundaries without feeling like a villain, stays in trash relationships way too long, and apologizes for taking up space. That wasn't a phase. That was early anxiety and attachment wounds training you to disappear so everyone else could feel comfortable. Number 3, the Perfectionism Meltdown Kid. Did you ever pull a 95 and still spiral like you'd wrecked your whole future? And now low-key wonder if that high achiever phase was never ambition, but your brain only feeling safe when you were perfect? In the States, adults love that kid who color codes their folders, rewrites homework, and freaks out if there's one tiny mistake. They call it drive, discipline, and grind. But under the hood, perfectionism is often pure anxiety. If I mess up, they'll be mad, disappointed, or gone. So you panicked over B's like they were F's, avoided trying new things unless you were sure you'd crush it, melted down when projects didn't look how you imagined. That's not being extra. That's your nervous system tying love and safety to performance. Fast forward, and that gifted kid grows into an adult who procrastinates because they're terrified to start, overworks to prove they're not a fraud, and calls themselves lazy while running on burnout. That wasn't a cute overachiever phase. That was early anxiety wearing your self-worth to achievement. And nobody noticed because your report card looked great while you felt hollow inside. Number 2, the can't sleep alone kid. Be honest. What if you were dragging your blanket down the hall because you couldn't sleep alone, even when you were too old for that? Wasn't that being a scaredy cat at all, but for real your first big flashing sign of anxiety? In a lot of American homes, this gets laughed off. They just hate the dark. They're so dramatic. They'll grow out of it. But if you needed a parent in the room, freaked when they tried to leave, or had constant stomach aches and nightmares before school or bedtime, that's not random. That can be separation anxiety or a nervous system that never feels safe when you're on your own. Your brain is basically running this script. If I can see you, you can't disappear. If you're close, nothing bad can happen. So you beg for one more story, one more nightlight, and one more spot in your parents' bed, and everyone thinks it's just a cute quirk. Fast forward, and that kid turns into an adult who panics when texts go unanswered, spirals when loved ones travel, or feels physically sick when they're alone. That wasn't a phase. That was your brain begging not to be abandoned. Number 1, the rule-obsessed justice warrior kid. Were you that kid who went full courtroom meltdown anytime something felt unfair, and now low-key wonder if that bossy phase adults told you to chill about was really your brain only feeling safe when everything was predictable? In a lot of American homes and schools, adults shrug this off. They're just particular. Such a little cop. They'll loosen up. But if you lost it when rules suddenly changed, when a sibling got away with breaking them, or when teachers looked the other way, that's not just personality. That's anxiety trying to hold the steering wheel. Your nervous system learns fast. If everyone follows the rules, I won't get blindsided. If things are fair, I won't get hurt. So you become the fairness police, the schedule enforcer, the kid who physically can't let it go like other kids seem to. Fast forward, and that controlling child grows into an adult who hates broken promises, vague plans, or double standards, and feels on edge when life goes off script. That wasn't some neat freak phase. That was your brain building a rule book just to feel safe in a world that felt anything but. So which of these phases hit a little too close to home for you? And what did you spot in your own childhood? Drop it in the comments, hit like, and subscribe if this opened your eyes. Thanks for watching.